Hi, and welcome back to Love Your Midlife. If you're new on Love Your Midlife, I'm so glad you're here. Please subscribe to the channel. I have new videos every week about the experiences, the wonderful journey that we're on with midlife, mostly inspiring, motivational, and things that we really want to think about and things that we really want to know. Also, I hope that you will check out another playlist I have on my channel, and it is the Love Your Midlife 30-Day Body Image Challenge. We are right in the middle of it, so you do have time to catch up. If you know anyone that has body issues, or if you have some body image issues that you would love to explore and possibly heal and change, then go back to day one. Get a journal, get a notebook, and do the 30-day body image challenge. I promise you, if you do the challenge, you will transform the way that you feel about you and your body, which is incredibly important. It affects every area of our life. So I'm so glad you're here today. We are going to be talking about change. So, whether you love change or you don't like change, please stay with us today. We are talking about change in midlife. Embracing change means you see your life filled with possibilities, opportunities. It also means that you want to try new things. You don't want to be stuck where you are. You want to know what else is out there. Improve yourself and improve your life. You want to be filled with positive energy and positive things that are going on. And you want to know you can do anything. That's really what's behind change. So, why is change so difficult for us? And why is change also really difficult in midlife? Because we are bombarded by change in midlife. So, this is a two-part series on change in midlife. This is part one, and I hope you'll come back this week and watch the second part of the series on embracing change in midlife. It's really, really important that we walk through the steps of change, that we're not afraid, and that we know there's going to be something really incredible on the other side. Right? Right. All right. Change can be like the sunlight coming down and totally enlightening your life and changing your life, casting out the shadows of fear and doubt. And change can come in and really give you so many new opportunities. If you're just willing to walk through the process, there's a little bit of a process for change, right? Sometimes it happens overnight, but 99% of the time, it is a process that we go through. Why are so many of us afraid? I talk to so many women when I coach women and I mentor women, and they say, Darcy, I don't like change. So we can do anything as long as it doesn't really involve significant change. And I have to kind of laugh a little bit because life is all about significant change. It really is. Let's just start with something really basic like getting pregnant, having a baby, let's just say. We go through this entire process with our children that is all about change. Think about it. We watch them as babies, we watch them crawl, we watch them grow, and we go on this journey with them. And they become enriched, and so do we. We grow because we are part of their change. So that's one thing we're involved in, most of us. And if you don't have children and you have furry friends, same thing. You're in that process of change all the time from the day you bring that puppy home, right? So, what are the other things that constantly change in our life that we do enjoy? The seasons. I live in Virginia in the United States, and I love the change of seasons. As soon as I can't stand the winter anymore or one more snow, up pops spring. Beautiful snowdrops and bulbs that say, okay, winter, you need to go because spring is here now, which I love. We like these changes for the most part. We like watching people grow and change. We like the changing of the seasons. No matter where you live, there's some kind of changing of the seasons. We live in constant change, and that's just part of our lives. Why, when it comes to other things, why are we so apprehensive about change? I think a big part of it is fear. We don't really know what that change is going to bring. We don't know what's on the other side of it. We don't really know the unknown. Perhaps it's the fear of losing something that we currently have. That can be a terrible feeling. Often for me, I set expectations and visualize what I want to change and visualize what I want that outcome to be. And very often, I don't do a very good job with that. And so I end up being disappointed or frustrated because I actually want to control that change. And that is not going to work well. Change and life is just going to go at its own flow. And there's not a lot we can do to push it. And when we do, we usually become unhappy and frustrated. And sometimes we just want to give up. Okay, well, I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to try for that new job. Or I'm not going to go ahead and try to date somebody new because it's not turning out the way that I wanted it to. So I think that we really have to let go of that. Life can be kind of messy. And so change can be kind of messy. And so we need to be willing to step back and let some of these things take their course and let them do what they need to do. Midlife brings a lot of new changes in our life. And there are a lot of changes in our 20s and 30s, but midlife is sometimes we're bombarded with changes in midlife. Sometimes we're bombarded with body changes, with emotional changes, empty nest, changing jobs. Retirement can be huge for some people. What do I do next? A marriage that's working or not working can cause a lot of change. Relationships, our children growing up and getting married and maybe not needing us as much, or maybe starting their own families. That's a huge change for us. And so I think it's so important to know that these things are all going to happen, right? Sometimes it might be losing one of your parents. And so all of these things can be very difficult. And in midlife, sometimes they happen at the same time. I know when I was dealing with my elderly parents, I was also becoming a grandmother very, very quickly. And the two things were happening at the same time. And it was actually kind of making my head spin, trying to deal with some of my parents' needs and also trying to deal with some of my children's needs and my grandchildren's needs. So I was having all of these things pull on me at the same time. And that became kind of confusing for me, and I wasn't sure exactly what some of the right steps were to take. I think it's really important to understand change kind of goes through a process. And if we're willing to understand that, and if we're willing to go through that process, it can be a whole lot easier. And that's why I like the Williams Briggs transition model. With all big changes, there is the what currently is, the transition, the in between, and then the big change at the end. And I really like this model. I think it's really very true. And what currently is can be very uncomfortable, right? As excited as you are to have a baby or to move or have some big change in your life, there are a lot of emotions going on, right? You could be scared, you could have fear, you could have doubt, you could be filled with anxiety. Maybe you're not getting along with people the way that you used to. And a lot of that can just be knowing that you want the change, knowing you're ready for the change, but not knowing what's next can sometimes can really drive us crazy, right? So I think that even though we want it, being in that uncomfortable place sometimes is like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here, right? It's like having on pants that are too tight. You're like, "Ooh, this is so uncomfortable. I don't like this." And then people always want to go, okay, well, what's going on with the new job, or what's going on in the new marriage? Or then people want to ask you, and you don't feel like talking about it because you're in that transition period and you don't really know what to say. You're just kind of hanging out hoping that you're going to get to the next phase of change. And I get that. So just settle down into that period of knowing that there is that transition period. It can be a really important part of embracing the change and sort of letting go and letting some natural things happen. We're always going to be filled with anxiety when we can't touch and feel something. It's like before you have that baby, you're like, oh my gosh, filled with anxiety. The minute they put that baby in your arms, everything changes, right? Everything's okay. And that is a wonderful, wonderful feeling. The transition zone is just that safe place. And just remember that it's safe there. Even though you may not know what's happening next, and even though you want to get to the other side, it's a safe place to be. And that's really important for us, especially mentally. Um, you can embrace the uncomfortable and you will come out of it with resilience and patience when you get to the other side. It will make you a better person when you're actually willing to sit in that space and wait for that change to happen the way that that change needs to happen. Finally, you embark on the last phase of change, which is the new beginning change, which is so wonderful, right? Keep moving forwards in your thought and your mindset into that new place, despite what your body is doing. Your body may be wreaking all kinds of havoc. Oh, your emotions are all over the place. Your feelings are all over the place. But keep your mindset and your thoughts into, yes, I know this is where I want to go. Maybe it's a move. Maybe it's retirement. And don't get all wrapped around all of your feelings and all of your emotions because that tends to drag us down. That tends to wear us out. And when we know we want the change, when we know we're willing to sit back and wait for it, then we need to be very, very careful about our thoughts and all of the things that might pop into our head and cause us a lot of doubt and a lot of anxiety. Every day you will feel a little bit better about this change, no matter what it is, no matter whether it's moving or changing a relationship or starting a new job, or just know that change is a very important part of our midlife. We need to embrace it. We need to know that there are all of these wonderful things out there waiting for us, and we need to be willing to walk through it and sit in it a little bit. And it will be okay and it will feel okay. There are days that will not, I guarantee you, and then there are other days that will feel great. And then you'll get to the other side. And think about what a motivating person you'll be for other people that are going through a huge change in life, a move, a marriage, a divorce, all of these things, your friends, your family, your children. You will be able to be a mentor to them and say, here's a few things that I did that really helped me, and I made it through this change, and I'm now to the other side. So we are going to do part 2 next about change. So I hope you'll come back. And we are going to talk about some wonderful ways that change can enhance our life and that we will love being part of change. So I'm so glad that you were here with me today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be part of Love Your Midlife. New videos all the time. I hope that you'll reach out to me. And if you ever need any kind of questions answered, feel free to send me an email. All right. Bye, babes.